Hello everybody, here's the latest from my friend Chris. He's got his own 3D printer. He's having a lot of fun with it, learning new things, learning how to print. I think he's done a terrific job of these. There's three girls here. They're all from fighter-oriented games, and I'm not a gamer. I don't know much about that world. Chris is really into that in a big way. Even in dialogue, I understand that if he watches a movie, he's frustrated because he can't control the outcome. So he really likes the gaming side of the storytelling and whatnot, where he controls it. But these characters he sent all three in a box. This one was first. This is Chizuru, I believe is her first name, and she's the most elegant of the three. I'm kind of glad I got her first because, I don't usually paint characters like this. This is kind of different. She has more of a stone base. I went with gray because of the obvious black and white theme in the clothes, and then red accents, red striping, piping. And I do everything by hand, by the way, despite those big areas of white. I paint everything by hand, and she's not just white. There's a white base in that, and then I mix gold and ivory, some warm colors, come back and do some highlighting, do some cool shading, very subtle, very, very subtle. The hair, which I believe I painted a base black first, and then came back and dry brushed a metallic mix of bronze and a wood grain. I use Vallejo paints, Vallejo acrylics, and I spray everything. It's sometimes in between layers with Mr. Hobby, Mr. Clear Coat, those different things, just to give them good coated surfaces and protection. This one actually is the UV paint. It's a first. I haven't used the UV before. I'll show you the can real quick here. This is a new version for me. It's the Mr. Super Clear Flat UV protection. So these are even UV protect. You can have them in sunlight and they won't fade or do whatever. But back to the paint. Chizuru's paint hair was a black base, and then I came back with wood grain, which is a beautiful brown. It's a rich brown, and did some highlights and mixed bronze, maybe with a little red, since there's red on the clothing there, and had a lot of fun. I like the detailing. I like the facial feature stuff. I'm not per se a big anime fan, and so they're a little more realistic, but at the same time there's a nod to anime in the artwork, and I try to keep true to that. And I may not be familiar with the character, but I certainly try to elicit what is desired from them. The base is a stone mix of grays. You got the black and white, so that kind of this gray seemed appropriate for this combo. Anyway, Chizuru is kind of the classy one to me. She's very elegant, and her hair is very elegant with her little headband and things. Very elegant character. And the second one I did wasn't going to be the second one. I had misplaced the one that was going to be second. But she ended up being next. She had a really big base space there. And there were some details. If you notice, there's an area in the back. All these are loose, so that Chris can glue them down when he receives them. He sends them to me from his home, and I send them back. So what I did was, I think there's a detail of smoke and fire or something, and he just left that out for display, so that none of the bases would steal the vertical attention. Anyway, this girl is Leona, and she may be from a different game than the other two. I'm not sure exactly. I had to look them up online. And she has blue hair at certain times and red hair when she gets mad. I think we're going to do a flaming red hair, wild-eyed version later. But she has a specific uniform, kind of a green with an off-white trim, boots, socks. And I gave her a more tan, I guess it's questionable whether she's Caucasian or Asian. This girl's definitely Asian look. She's more of a Caucasian, I guess, just with a little bit more of a tan skin. And then this blue hair, the big thing with this was I used a gunmetal and silver and just put it on there straight up. And the look was so arresting and so interesting to me with all these little molded points and bits that I didn't have to do a lot of detail. I didn't have to come back and do a lot of shading. I liked the sheens inherent in and I use a lot of metallics for hairs, by the way. No matter what the hair is, hair has a sheen to it. And so metallics can solve that. Nice face. I thought she had a kind of an interesting face. She's sort of the tomboy looking one of the three. But I liked her. She's very different than the first one. Very different mood, very different style. Then we move on to probably the most fun in some ways. This is, I think her name is Jenet, however you pronounce it. She looks like, she's a pirate-ish girl in a pirate dress, a pirate thing. Definitely pirate theme. And the only blonde of the group, definitely more Caucasian skin, a little more shades of color in the skin, a little lighter in the skin zone. Again, none of these are glued down at the moment. I had the purple going, and when I did the base, I had two bottles. I had a violet and purple, and I did the dress in the purple and did the base in the violet, and then sort of discovered it might have worked more accurately the other way around. So what I did was I did a little fade. And sorry, I'm getting over a cold. I've still got a little bit of congestion. So I did a little fade where this violet is in there, and I thought it looked really nice just straight down into the violet. Like you got a violet fade, and it just gave her something interesting. And then as far as her face and all that, she's really got a cool 70s mod look almost. Very different. Her dress is very 70s, I hate the way they rock like this. I like them glued down. Chris, when you get this, glue them down, buddy. Just make them solid. Anyway, so she's got a different look and a brighter, bolder color scheme. I think they all have their own nice colors. I will say, something about the hair. I did some new things with blonde hair with this one that I've never done before. I never use yellow. I'll use soft tans and wood colors and beiges and things like that. And I'll use my wood grain, which of course is the brown that I used over on Chizuru's hair. And I'll use that as a darkener. And then I'll do different fades and streaks and things in it, like the lights hitting it differently. Come in and do like the part line in the face. Some shading with the wood grain. The wood grain is a beautiful brown. If you get these paints, just remember that color, wood grain. You never think that it's something you can use in anything. I mix skin tones with it. I'll do skin tone light, skin tone dark, a little red, and put a little wood grain in it. And the wood grain both grays the skin a little and gives the brown tone to it a little bit and makes it fleshier looking. She's actually got purple eyes, slightly. They're bluish purple. And I went with more of a blood red for the belt and the hands, and old gold for the gold parts. And there's a lot of trim painting in a dress like that. There's a lot of trim. But anyway, these are the three. I really enjoyed them. They're very different from each other. They're a great exercise in, trying out some different techniques. And they make for a very interesting set of painted figures, and I hope Chris is very happy with them. I hope you've enjoyed this look at something a little different than what I normally do. Normally, it seems like lately it's a lot of it. But anyway, please like, please subscribe if you have not. And if you feel free to comment, I mean, I'll respond to any comments. Anything, open comments. There's no telling. Some people that have played these games may have ideas about the colors, or if you have any questions about what I did, just ask. I've got no qualms about that. So until next time, we'll move on and let these girls sort of stand on their own and do their fighting in their own time. Take care, folks, and we'll see you next time.